Hi everyone, my name is Tristan from the CPAPstore.ca. Today we're going to be looking at the ResMed AirFit F30i. Now this is a top-mounted hollow frame mask, meaning that it is better for side sleepers because if you take the tube and you put it on top here, if you have your tube at the top of a tube hook on the side of your bed, you roll around. As you can see, I can roll this guy 360 and nothing happens. The tube stays in the same spot. Whereas with those with like a tube mounted here, if you roll, it's gonna get caught in your neck and your pillow and stuff like that a little more frequently. Now the downside of this mask is you have the air going right beside your ear here. Makes it a little louder of a CPAP mask, as well as some people don't like the feeling of like the silicone on their head. Overall, most people who are side sleepers really like this mask. It's a great full face mask. Now on the front here, we have a hybrid cushion here, meaning it covers the mouth as well as the nostrils. It doesn't cover the top of the nose like an F20 would. This mask is more similar to an F30 or an F40, okay? So it, just like the F40, it goes underneath the nose. Okay, so the main difference with this mask is it being the top-mounted hollow frame option. Now, this mask does fit better for a majority of people than the original F30, partly because I think just the geometry is better, as well as that has quite a bit of different sizing options. So you have small, wide, medium, wide cushions, as well as a small, medium, and I believe large headgear or frame. This part here, this hollow portion here, is connected to your cushion, so you have to make sure that you get the correct size, and to do that you can use a sizing guide. If you don't have one of the measure sizing guides, be sure to check out our link in the description. I have a sizing guide that I made that you can use a ruler and you can measure your nose, height, width, and you can figure out the cushion size for you. In terms of headgear, like this portion here, you'll probably just kind of have to figure that out on your own. Look in the mirror and think to yourself, if I look at all of my colleagues, is my head significantly bigger? If so, you probably have a big head. Probably have a larger headgear. Maybe you have a very small head compared to them, then you probably size small headgear. Chances are 80% of you are going to be a standard frame headgear, and with the adjustment points 1, 2, 3, 4, most people are going to be able to make a standard frame work. The most important portion, I think, with this mask, unless you have a dramatically big or small head, is going to be the cushion. Now on the cushion we have the magnets here. Make sure you check with your doctor to make sure that you can use magnets if you do have a pacemaker or another medical appliance. Most pacemakers should be fine. I know Philips had the recall because they had much stronger magnets. Some pacemakers, I can't remember which style it is, but they are more affected by magnets. So make sure that if you do have a pacemaker, you have the more generic one that you can use magnets. Some specialty ones can use magnets or be interfered with at all, okay? But for majority of people, these magnets are going to be great because they're very easy to snap on and off, and great for those with arthritis. Now in terms of noise, this mask, I wouldn't say is the quietest of masks. It is a top-mounted headgear, so you're gonna have a little bit of noise for yourself here. We also have an escalation port up here and an escalation port down here. So between this, it's gonna be a little bit louder of a mask. Now, I don't think it's annoying, but if you are one who wants the absolute quietest mask available, this mask might not be it if that's your main buying factor. But overall, it's like white noise and most people have no problems with it. What I did notice that when this thing was like really tweaked to the side, it did make a bit of a hissing noise, I think, from the bottom of here. I thought it might be the escalation port, but I don't think it was. I think it was just like right here or something. Something came undone and made like a squealing noise. After I kind of turned off my CPAP, took it off, made sure everything was good, put it back on, I couldn't recreate it. I tried to recreate the noise, couldn't recreate it. So I'm not sure where that came from, but once there was a squealing noise, but I've never had it again. So I think that was just a weird fluke one-off. But overall, I think it's gonna be great for most people. And it makes a little bit more noise than some other masks, but not a crazy amount. In terms of sizing and just overall reviews of this mask, we see that a lot of people like this mask. The top selling mask on our website is the F20, and right below that is the F30i. So it's our second best selling mask, and I think it's just because it fits so many people, it has wide sizing options, and a majority of people have no problems with leaks and stuff with this mask. So it's definitely a good option, especially if you have a nose that if you press here, you can actually just press here with your fingers and breathe in and out with your nose. And if you don't really feel much doing that, you can still breathe out of your nose. You can probably use an F40 and it's not gonna inhibit. I have very soft nose with like very little cartilage. So as soon as I put any pressure here, I can barely breathe out of my nose. And therefore someone like me, F30i is 10 times better than an F20. Overall, I do really like this mask. I think it is a very good option, a very good starter option, just because it seems to fit a lot of people without a ton of headaches. Now, if I were gonna compare this mask here with the brand new F40, they are both very good masks. I prefer the F40. I think the F40 is just one of the best masks to ever come out of ResMed. It has that really soft front, okay? So it's really, really soft. It kind of molds to my face very, very well. However, that being said, in terms of very high pressures, I would say that this guy actually holds a leak better. Now, do I think that this guy holds a leak or holds a seal better in general? I would say no. What I mean by that is that if your pressure, now this is my personal experience, everyone's face is different, so I can't really say. So take this with a grain of salt. But for me, pressure of 4 to 17, 18, the F40 holds a better seal most of the time, less leaks, just better overall than the F30i. Pressures 19, 20, I actually think that the F30i was holding it a little bit better. So take that however you want. If you want to try this first or this first, up to you. I think this guy here, the F40, does better with leaks on a more general capacity. I think it'll be better for most people. Even though it has the front mount, I would probably take the F40 over the F30i. That being said, if you do have a really high pressure, if I was using a super high pressure like a 20, I would probably go with the F30i. In terms of noise, there shouldn't be any surprise. The F40 with the quiet air at the front does beat out the F30. It's definitely a quieter mask. However, like I said earlier, if you are rolling around, if you are tossing and turning, 100% F30i is the way to go. It's gonna be so much nicer to have that tube totally away from you, especially if you have a tube hook on your wall behind you. You won't even feel your tube at all. So that is my review on the F30i. I hope you found it interesting. If anything, maybe a little educational. If you did, please consider subscribing or liking this video or giving a comment and telling us what your thoughts on the F30i is. Take care, guys. See ya.